Hello friends. Today we will start with the third chapter, Drainage of Geography, which will provide you the idea of Indian river system, Himalayan rivers and peninsular rivers. Himalayan rivers means Indus, Ganga, Brahmaputra, and peninsular river means Tapti, Narmada, Godavari, Mahanadi, Krishna, and so on. I will show you some diagrams through which learning part will become very easy. So let's start with the first part of the chapter, drainage. The term drainage describes the river system of an area. The area drained by a single river system is called drainage basin. An elevated area such as a mountain or an upland separates two drainage basins such an upland is known as water divide. I'll show you this picture in which two streams you can see, and the middle part where it is written water divide. So two river system has been divided by a upland area that is known as water divide. Here the whole river system can be divided into three different parts. First one, that is the source of river, from where the river starts, that is upper course, then middle course, and then lower course. Upper course, from where it starts, then it moves to the middle course where meanders are being seen. Meander means it's a series of regular curves or bends of river. Then in the lower course you can see Oxbow Lake. The Oxbow Lake means it is a U-shaped lake that forms when wide meanders of rivers is cut off. You can see this is a cut off area from the main river. This one. This is a cut off area that is known as Oxbow Lake. And then in the last, delta has been formed. Delta means the land formed creating by deposition of sediments carried by the river system. So here you can see a triangular like shape. A triangular shape has been formed when the river enters any sea or ocean. That is known as delta. One more formation is there. One is delta and one is estuaries. So estuaries means where directly the river enters the ocean, the funnel shape. That is known as estuaries. So this was a river system. Now drainage system in India. So the Indian rivers are divided into two major groups. That is the Himalayan rivers and the peninsular rivers. Most of the Himalayan rivers are perennial. Perennial means that they have water throughout the year. These rivers receives water from rain as well as from melted snow from the lofty mountains. The Himalayan rivers have long course from their source to the sea. So first we'll start with the Himalayan rivers. In Himalayan rivers, we can have three major rivers, that is Indus, Ganga, and Brahmaputra. We'll talk in details regarding all these three rivers. These rivers are long and are joined by many large and important tributaries. A river along with its tributaries may be called a river system. So the first we'll talk about the Indus river system. I'll show you the diagram also, but we'll go with some points and then I'll show you the diagrams. It is one of the most or the longest river with the length of 2,900 km. The Indus river rises in Tibet near Lake Mansarovar. Flowing west, it enters India in the Ladakh district of Jammu and Kashmir. The Indus flows from Baltistan and Gilgit and emerge from the mountains of Attock, the Satluj, the Bias, the Ravi, the Chenab, and the Jhelum joins together to enter the Indus near Mithankot in Pakistan, reaches the Arabian Sea to the east of Karachi. A little over a third of the Indus basin is located in India, and because of that, Indus Water Treaty was been signed in 1960. So India can use only 20% of water carried by the Indus river system. I'll show you the diagram. Here you can understand. It starts from here like that, from Mansarovar Lake. Then it moves, it enters in India from Ladakh district of Jammu and Kashmir. From here it enters like that. Then here there some tributaries are also there, like Zaskar, Nubra, Shiong, Hunza. Here you can get this one. You can see it here, Jaskar, and all these tributaries are there. Join the Kashmir region, and it flows through Baltistan and Gilgit and emerges from the mountain of Attock. The Satluj, Bias, Ravi, Chenab, these rivers also you can get here. These rivers are there which join with the main stream here like that. So all these rivers are being joined here. This area together joins in the Indus near Mithankot. It is in Pakistan nowadays. It is in Pakistan. The Indus flows southward, eventually reaching the Arabian Sea, which is in east of the Karachi. So it goes down like that, and then it merges into Arabian Sea. And we had seen the total length, that is 2900 kilometer, and Indus is one of the longest river. And we had seen about the Indus Water Treaty also, which was signed in 1960. It is very important nowadays. There was some, they wanted to destroy this treaty also, but it could not come to the result. So the Indus Water Treaty was signed in 1960, in which India could use only 20% of the total water which is carried by the Indus river system. So this was about the Indus. Now we'll talk about the next, that is the Ganga river system. The headwater of Ganga, called the Bhagirathi, is fed by the Gangotri glacier and joined by the Alaknanda at Devprayag in Uttarakhand. At Haridwar, the Ganga merges from the mountains onto the plains. Tributaries from the Himalayas are the Yamuna, the Ghagar, the Gandak, and the Kosi. Yamuna meets the Ganga at Allahabad. Tributaries which come from the peninsular uplands are the Chambal, Betwa, Son. The Ganga flows eastward till Farakh in West Bengal. The main stream flows southward into Bangladesh and is joined by the Brahmaputra, that is known as Meghna, regional name over there. Then flows into the Bay of Bengal. The delta formed by these rivers is known as Sundarban Delta. The length of Ganga is over 2500 kilometers. So we'll talk about the Ganga river. You can see this diagram through which from map you will try to understand how it is starting. So it starts from Gangotri glacier and joined by the Alaknanda at Devprayag in Uttaranchal, as it was been told. Then it comes from here, from this area. Then it is joined with some of the tributaries like Yamuna, Ghagra, Gandak, and Kosi. So here you can see different rivers which are being joined. Gandak is here, Son, Betwa, Chambal is also there. Okay, so these are being joined over here. then it moves Gagra, Gandak, Kosi. It comes from the Nepal Himalaya. Nepal, this is Nepal. There are the rivers which flood parts of the northern plains every year, causing widespread damage to the life and property, but enriching the soil for the extensive agricultural land it has been used out. So these are the tributaries. After that it moves eastward, then it is joined by the Brahmaputra. Brahmaputra come from like that, this area, then it is joined here, and then Meghna, you can see here Meghna river, then it moves to Bay of Bengal. The water from the Ganga and Brahmaputra flows into the Bay of Bengal, and the delta which is formed over there, that is Sundarban Delta. Now, why it has been said as Sundarban? The Sundarban Delta derives its name from the Sundari tree, which grows well in the marshy lands, and the world's largest and fastest growing delta. It is also the home of Royal Bengal tiger. Now comes the Brahmaputra river system. The Brahmaputra rises in Tibet east of Mansarovar Lake. It flows eastward parallel to the Himalayas. On reaching to Namcha Barwa, which is 7,757 meters, it takes a U-turn and enters India in Arunachal. Here it is called Dihang, and it is joined by the Dibang, the Lohit, and many other tributaries to form the Brahmaputra in Assam. Dihang, if you had seen my previous video, in that we had to talk about Dihang also. In India, it passes through a region of high rainfall. Here the river carries a large volume of water and considerably amount of silt. So through this we can understand it starts from here, then it takes a U-turn, then it moves from here like that, and then it joins with Ganga, and then again to the Bay of Bengal. So this was for today. For the next, we'll talk in the second video. Thank you.